Another day, another battle. What is up, guys? Welcome back to NTW3. We are going to witness epic maneuvers, tactics, and maybe some epic bayonet charges too. So yes, this is NTW3. We've got a 4v4. We got some awesome factions on the battlefield. So we'll start with this side right here that we're looking at. So we've got UK, Portugal. So they're here on the battlefield. We saw them actually yesterday. Over here, we have Prussia. So good to see Prussia. It's been a while. And then we have the Holy Roman Empire. So how about that? Very cool. And then we have another force. And it looks like this is already starting. Look at this. This is crazy. Another force of UK, Portugal. We got a French cav charge going for the artillery of UK, Portugal. So yes, the French are on the battlefield. They went for a suicide charge. Definitely a suicide charge. It paid off, though. I'm sure they would have loved to have gotten the other artillery as well that's posted up on top of this this hill here. It's kind of like a road, too. But they do not get both artillery, so that is good for UK, Portugal, and their allies. Now, on the other side, we have a Franco-Danish alliance. So we have the French, and we have Denmark. The Danish forces are here, so they are going to be supporting the French today, and those are the armies. That's pretty much it. I think most of the French side, I think it's like 3 French armies, 1 Danish army. So those are the forces, and France over here is going to have a pretty challenging position because he has to go uphill. I think France is going to be a little bit more careful with this one, where they're going to set up forces, they're going to set up artillery, and try to soften up the UK Portuguese. Here we go. Yeah, oof. Yeah, that missed by a long shot. But yeah, he's going to try to soften up the King German Legion and the infantry of this UK Portugal force. We have some cav that moved in from the Holy Roman Empire to support their allies from any more French attacks. We have the Prussians now marching into the town that they're going to be holding. Now, this is not an LOC battle. This is a battle that is going to come down to to really annihilating the other side. There's no points or anything to this battle, so it's going to make the gameplay a little bit different from what you're used to. So if we zoom in on the map, you can see there's no points on here, so there's no point in trying to go for strategic positions. This is also unlimited time, so this could be a very long battle, it could be a very short battle, but it's all going to come down to who can annihilate the other army, and that's what we're going to see here. Now the French are mobilizing, they're moving their cav presence to their right, or their left I should say. They've got 4 units of cav ready to move. You can see that the British are like, let's not get too close to that. Let's not get too far away. Oof, and a cannonball just flew right over their heads. But yeah, they didn't want to get too close to the French cav without being near the infantry support. But they're definitely going to need more cav on their right side here if they're going to deal with the French cav. And a lot of the French units are kind of disappearing and reappearing. I assume it's the hill where they can go out of sight here a little bit, but they are advancing forward from what we can see. We got a couple units of infantry. We got the artillery opening fire. This artillery position isn't that great. What are they aiming for? What are they? Oh, they're still going for that cav. Let's see if they can get a hit here. Ready? Oh, see, really good positioning with the cav. That's the best thing you can do, is just get them behind the hill. And those cannonballs will not hit the target. But it looks like it appears that the French, knowing that they have a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the terrain, they're going to try to maneuver their army a little bit to the left side of the British forces. I think that's a pretty smart idea, because if you attacked head on, that's exactly what the British want you to do. So he's got his artillery kind of holding the center, keeping the infantry kind of pinned, opening fire on the infantry, trying to soften up. Meanwhile, the French infantry maneuver to the left side, or this would be the British right side. And now we've got a clash of lines here that are about to go at it. Here we go. This is so cool. Look at this. Here we go. They're going to form up. And the French actually fall back. I think they're going to quickly form a line as well. Let's see. Come on, Frenchies. Open fire. There we go. Took them a while. They lost multiple casualties. And now we've got a cav charge. Look at this. A bold move from the British who are going in. This might actually work wonders here. But it's a risky play because the French cav is right nearby, which they're going to go in and support their infantry and prevent a mass retreat. Sometimes that happens. If you can charge the cav in just right, you can cause a mass retreat from the infantry, but the cav prevent that. The British form square because they are expecting a French retaliation, which is what they do, but the British are paying attention to that. These units can form square, and they can hold their own against the French cav, which is good for the British because they are outnumbered by a lot by the French cav. Now, way on the other side, I don't want to miss anything. It does look like we got a little bit of a skirmish going on where we have some French light units opening fire, and the Prussians have established a kind of defense position behind the river, and they're going to hold this position against the French. But most of the action is taking place over on this side where we have oh, there we go. He's going in for another cav charge, and he is going to get him. A little bit there. They are still able to form square. And this is good because even if they do form square and you're not able to pull off a devastating cav charge, you are causing the infantry to form square, which makes them less effective in firing. Oh man, this looks so cool. Look at this. Hold the line. The French are falling back. They are falling back, and oof. And they're going to reorganize. They are getting chased right now, though. So here's our epic bayonet charge. I think the British smell blood, and they're pursuing. But they are alone. He is going to move up more forces. Oof, the artillery. The artillery just missing this infantry. Yeah, what an epic mod this is. So good. We got a bloody bayonet fight here. A lot of French backs are exposed to the British lines. And they're going to keep opening fire on these guys. Here comes more infantry to the fray, trying to bolster up the British numbers. All right, let's go look at really quick what's going on elsewhere on the battlefield. We have a huge French force mixed with the Danish in the trees here around this river. You can see Denmark is moving up some infantry of their own. They're going to probably engage the Holy Roman Empire, who is advancing 3 units of, it looks like Hungarian infantry, line infantry. They're going to join forces with the British. Got some Highland Foot, some King's, let's see, what is this? The King's Own. The King's Own Royal Foot, the Lions. And then we have the Vein Openers, the Vein Openers. Pretty cool. 29th. All right, there you have it. Now the British are kind of advancing. They're going downhill on the French forces. The French are going to have to hold their ground because their artillery is positioned here, and I doubt they want to give up this this spot. They definitely don't want to give up their artillery position. And it's currently firing upon the British and allies. The Danish are holding a bridge across the river, so they're going to take a defensive position there. And then over on this side, we do have a huge cav engagement. Look at this. So this is all the way on the right flank from the French perspective. The French are winning this cav engagement, so good on them. But there is a lot more reinforcements where that came from. We got UK, Portugal forming up a secondary force of cav. I don't think they're going to commit to the fight, though, because it's too late. This French cav is going to get out of there after defeating the Prussian cav, and then we have the Danish sending over to cav. So a little extra support, which they're definitely going to need because that's a sizable British cav force. All right, let's go back over to this side where the French, the French have begun a massive line battle. These look like militiamen almost. They are in the tree line, opening fire on the British and Holy Roman Empire. So they're gonna begin this this firefight with a fierce presence. I mean, look at the size. They've got a huge amount of force here. I would not be surprised if they do something bold here, get really aggressive, maybe get some bayonet charges to that nature. Over here, same thing. The French are going full speed ahead. Look at this, full sail. They are hitting the British with everything they got, and the British, of course, are gonna do their darnest. They're gonna do their darnest to hold. I'm hearing a cab charge. Yes, sirree, Bob. We've got the French mobilizing, advancing, charging their French cab, but they do not go for it, but that's okay. It causes a little bit of a panic in the British lines, and the French are going to be able to capitalize on that because they have some forces set up, ready to go. They just got to pop. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So they're going to open fire, and a lot of these troops are going to lose the will to fight as they are heavily outnumbered. They're getting harassed by Cav, and they just don't see victory in sight. So they are going to break formation, and the French are causing heavy damage to this British line. I think the British are taking on, oh, by the way, some Cav here breaking. I don't know if Denmark went for a charge or something, but it appears that the British are taking on 2 French armies right now. I am very surprised that the Holy Roman Empire has not shifted over any infantry to support the British. They have not supported anything over there. And I think that's a big loss right there. That's going to be, it's kind of a waste of forces. Now, I get it. He's got to watch Denmark, but at the same time, the British are just getting overwhelmed by a mass force of French, which is really smart of the French to do. Because if we look on the other side of the battlefield, we can see that there's really nothing going on here. We have Prussia, we've got the other UK Portugal army, but they're not really doing anything. If I was on this side, I would get really aggressive, because you have to imagine that there's not a huge, strong presence here on the other side. Like, is this all the French have? They probably have a little bit more, but it does appear most of the French forces are on this side. So you got, oh, and big cab charge. Look at this. French going in against the Holy Roman Empire's cab, but it doesn't look like it's going to pay off well. Or, yeah, it's not going to pay off. So they're going to disengage. There is still some French cav that just didn't engage, so they're going to fall back, reform. And now the French are pushing on the flank because we have a mass break from the British forces. I assume they're going to try to evacuate all forces and regroup with the Holy Roman Empire, which is what they need to do. At this point, they need to inflict as many casualties as possible. You can see the Holy Roman Empire is falling back their troops as well. They had some German line infantry that were going in, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit. The French did take some casualties, as you can see on the battlefield, but they are not too concerned about it. Oh, actually a lot of casualties. My goodness. But they're not too concerned, and they're going to keep advancing forward, where the Holy Roman Empire and the UK British, or the UK Portugal, they're going to stand together, forming a bit of a hook shape here on this hilltop. So, yeah, this army needs to do something. They need to, like I said, be aggressive. And I think that's what they are doing. They are advancing forward, so that is good for them. We also have some cav, lots of cav over here. Even the Prussians have dedicated. Oh, wait, did they send, this is their general. Why is the general over here? We have the general kind of surveying the battlefield. We have a lot of British cav, Portuguese cav over here looking for an opportunity. I assume they're scouting. This is just a mega battlefield. I mean, look at this. Oof. Oof. So cool. Such a fight. Such a fight. With these troops just kind of holding. This is awesome. Look at all these French forces kind of... Ooh! Did you see that artillery shot? I'm hearing another... I'm hearing some yelling. I don't see... there's some cav moving up. Lots of breaking British here. The British can only hold on for so long, and if the French can clear out this cav unit, then this is gonna be open. This is gonna be an open battlefield. The French cav will be able to maneuver around, get behind the infantry, and the Holy Roman Empire is going to commit. They're going to commit. I don't know how I feel about this. I think they should have tried to get out of there. They're going to be outnumbered. Oh, but it doesn't matter. The French morale is low, and the Holy Roman Empire is going to hold off 2 units of French cav and protect this right flank, this far right flank of the British army. And they're gonna give them a taste of their own medicine. They're going in. The Holy Roman Empire going in.
Our general is under attack.
And they do get a fantastic charge there. This is not good for the French. They might even cause mass breakage. The French, though, decide to not support their infantry, but rather go with their... Oh, wait, no, they're going to change targets. It looks like... No, just kidding. They're going to go for the artillery. Try to wipe that out. And then we do have some French cav that I assume return from breaking. They're going to try to get in there to try to stop the Holy Roman Empire, which it appears they are. Even though this French cav is breaking, the Holy Roman Empire is barely hanging on. And this infantry, if they can get a shot off, I think one volley could break this cav. Oh, they break even before the volley, and the French don't even need to fire, but they're going to do it for good measure to make sure that cav does not return. They didn't really get a lot of kills there, but yeah, that cav will return. And oh yeah, the French have the Holy Roman Empire right where they want them. The British have been destroyed here. The British have a couple troops. They haven't been completely destroyed. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of infantry, 6.5. Okay, there's 7. Now, a lot of them are coming back from breaking, so that's good. But this has been a tough struggle for the Holy Roman Empire and the British forces. The French are doing a great job. Let's go look on the other side, though, and let's look at the advancing forces of UK and Portugal all the way. This would be the far left flank of the battlefield in the perspective of the British allies. But yeah, they are now advancing forward. You can see that the British cav have discovered some French cav. Here's the French army. This is definitely like a rear guard type army. It's not the largest of forces. It's not a force to win a battle, but rather a force to delay an attack, delay a push. But it's going to be tough. Maybe the French have more infantry over here. Hopefully they've got some artillery pieces to aid them. Here we go. We got some French cav. Here we go. Here's the French artillery. Voila. French artillery moving up. We've got French infantry moving up as well. So the French at this side just need to hold. That's all they have to do. They have to hold against Prussia. They have to hold against the British. And that might be enough to win the day. We got a nice little rally from the British and the Holy Roman Empire. That's good for them. The French are going to take their time here, though. They don't want to push too aggressively and lose a lot of men. They don't want to take too many casualties. So the infantry will be setting up here. I'm kind of looking for the artillery. I hear it. I hear the artillery. So it's moving up as well. And they definitely need to rely on that artillery. I think that's where they have the advantage, the French, that is. We have Denmark also pushing up their infantry as well. You can see the red coats here. Red and yellow trim. Like a goldish yellow. Just taking on the Holy Roman Empire. They're doing a great job of putting a lot of pressure. I mean, this feels like 3 armies right here. 2 French, 1 Danish army. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. So, in this current situation, it's going to come down to... Well, it's going to come down to the Holy Roman Empire trying to hold back this massive army. They don't necessarily need to win this engagement, but if they can do enough damage against the French, where this army over here, the Prussian British side, if they can wipe out this French army and flank around and get behind the French, anything is possible. Anything is possible. All right, so the French are still waiting. This is good. They want to wait as long as possible. That's in their favor, right? They don't want this battle to begin, and they are getting hit by artillery. It has to be terrifying. Imagine being a soldier, in the line, and you're just seeing cannonballs just flash for a second as they fly over your heads, just praying that the cannonball does not hit you, and if it does hit you, hopefully it takes you out quickly. That's got to be a very awful feeling. But the French are going to have to show their might here today as the rear guard of the army is taking on a massive force of Prussian and Portugal and UK. And the British have been given orders to begin the attack and try to break through this far left flank of the French army. This would be their far right. So let it begin. And the French are already falling back. Which honestly is smart, right? Because what you're trying to do is delay. You're trying to delay. You don't want to fight too much here. I'm hearing some... Oh, yeah, we've got some cav charging in. Look at this. And this is a nice little move here. I like this by the UK Portugal force. This is a nice move because what they're doing here is well, first off, they're going for the artillery, which they're just barely gonna miss. Just barely. They form square. But this cav, what it's doing is kind of preventing a kiting tactic. You know, it's going to make it more difficult for the French to be able to fall back, because if they fall back, they run into British cav. So it's definitely putting the French in a difficult situation. And I think what the French are going to do is they're going to fall back to this river, it appears, and potentially use this as a defensive position. But they can't get too close to the Danish, because the Danish backs, the backs of the Danish will be exposed to potentially cav charges from the British. So I think the French just got to make their stand here and just hope that they can hold, but they are severely outnumbered. And really what this French army is praying for is for Denmark and France on this side to have a victory. But this has been a great rally by the British, a fantastic rally by the British, where it seemed like they were getting pummeled. They're getting destroyed. Words are hard. They were getting destroyed, but they're turning it around. They're absolutely turning it around. I don't know why the French are holding on to these reserves. They need to get these guys in the fight. They need every single able person in the front line to overwhelm the Holy Roman Empire. And this has been a juicy engagement between the Germans and the French. But yeah, they've got a lot of reserves, and honestly, they need to just go. I would shift a lot of these reserves over to this far, this would be their left side, the far left side, just to put some flanking fire on the end of this line. Because if you look at the reserves of the Holy Roman Empire or the British, there's zero reserves. So if you push infantry around all the way on this flank, there's nothing they can really do about it except fall back. And oh, some French cav spotted behind the army. This might be a good opportunity to potentially get a hammer and anvil or something of that nature to cause a mass break. And now it looks like he's holding back one reserve force. The British are holding back one reserve force just to kind of watch. And now he's going to move them back into the fight. Okay. Interesting. Back over here. Oh, we've got a little cav engagement. Denmark is really struggling here. And now they're sending in cav to confront the Holy Roman Empire's cav, who is charging straight into the infantry. A ballsy move from the Holy Roman Empire, but I do not think it's going to pay off for them. Now over on this side, the French have yet to engage. No, I mean, I think a couple shots here and there, but nothing massive in terms of a line battle. But I think that's about to change very quickly. As you can see, the French are maneuvering their artillery. They really need to get that artillery kind of in between infantry so they can easily protect it. And here we go. The French are maneuvering some forces. I don't know if this French infantry force that we see maneuvering behind the main line, I don't know if this is from the same army. Ooh, good shot. Good shot with the artillery. Why is he charging in infantry? Interesting. I'm not sure why the French decided to charge there, but he does have extra reserves moving over here. Again, I don't know if this is his army or the French over here sent him some reserves. I mean, it's not a bad idea for the French to maneuver over some infantry to help out his ally over here. And the French actually do break. Look at that. Nice play. The British do not like that. They're going to go in for a charge. I think they're going to break this infantry. Oh, can they form square? Oh, they're going for the artillery, maybe? Another crazy frontal charge. They do break the French infantry that was aggressive, charged forward. But this cav is not going to last much longer. They're desperately trying to get that artillery because that is one of the strengths over the British that the French have here. Okay, they do break the cav, but I don't know if they were able to save. I think the artillery crew is dead. So the artillery is gone, which is absolutely tragic. He goes in for another bayonet charge against the British. Look at this. So this is the Portuguese here, by this, I assume, by the blue uniforms. Yeah, that's Portuguese. The French go in. I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know why he's using aggressive tactics. He needs to be using passive tactics. He needs to delay. He needs to keep the Portuguese, British, and the Prussians busy on this front, but he is going in with multiple units. The bayonet charge, and it's not working. It's not paying off. Over here, the French are losing a cav battle against the British. This could be disaster for the French lines as they've lost their cav presence. They've lost their artillery. They have lost multiple units of their infantry to a deadly, suicidal bayonet charge. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but this is definitely leaving this army just to be obliterated, and France needs to try to save as much men as possible. This army is getting decimated. Oh my goodness. And oh my goodness, the French general has been caught and killed by the UK Portuguese army, and the French are going to be, they're on the verge of mass break here. 90% of his army is breaking, and he needs to save as many troops as possible as he can. And now we have the Holy Roman Empire going in for a frontal charge right into the artillery of France, and that's gonna weaken the French position. And my goodness, the Holy Roman Empire is holding this line with his British allies. What a turn of the table here from these forces. This has been fantastic. So France needs to get, oh, and here comes another charge. Really trying to get to that artillery, which it looks like they do get to. Come on, they need to break them. The French need to break these guys. They cannot let them kill the artillery. Oh, they're on the verge. There we go. They break. France, I feel like it's just being too passive, like way too passive. He needs to get his reserves into the fight. He's finally set up a flanking force, a force to put pressure. There we go. There we go. He needs to chip away at these British units. They're not very strong. I mean, they've already broken, I assume. There's only a handful of them. So I think, yeah, the French have the numbers to outflank the British. And they need to use these numbers because this is not good. This is bad. Look at this. Let's get a bird's eye view of this. You can even see it on the minimap. I'll make it bigger. The French are now getting surrounded because their rear guard got absolutely decimated. And when I say decimated, I'm not talking about 10% of the army dead. I'm talking about they got destroyed, okay? They got destroyed. And there is now nothing defending the French army in the Danish army. So they're gonna have to pull troops away from the front, and they got to do it right now. The fact that he isn't doing it right now is disaster. He's got to pull these troops over to the tree line because you need something. You need a new rear guard to hold back the advancing UK, Portugal, and the Prussians. And they're about to open fire. Ooh. You know, guys, just it's been tough. It's been tough. This fight has been a mess of a battle. Massive casualties on both sides. The French are making decent progress. Uh-oh. And of course, the sound glitched out. There we go. Come on, don't quit on me. There we go. Nice shots there. So the French need to really push hard on this flank. He's got his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units here. They need to push hard. Move them closer. Move them close. There's a little bit of a hill in his way. You can see some shots are missing and going into the dirt. They need to get up there and just get right in their face and break these British. All right. In this, there is hope. Oh no. Where is this? Oh my goodness. This is huge. The British with the sneaky Cav going in and taking out the French general. So, oh my god, that's insane. Oh, and there's all kinds of Cav behind enemy lines, behind the French army. Not a good sight. Not a good sight. Now we do have some French infantry. I think this is units that were part of the rear guard. They're desperately trying to hold back the Prussians, who have completely flanked the French position and the Danish position. This is not going to end well unless the French make a move here. Let me fix my audio. All right, there we go. So yeah, it's not going to end well for the French unless they, one, wipe the Holy Roman Empire off the face of this earth quickly, or they start maneuvering troops over. And I think Denmark needs to stop being stubborn. He needs to maneuver his men out of here. Like, I know it's gonna suck, but like, he's, oh, good shot. Look at that. Put a big hole. Oh man, that cannonball is out of here. I love watching them just fly away, you know, especially when they're aiming uphill. Sometimes they just completely miss and just travel a great distance. But yeah, okay, Denmark is finally moving. That is good. That is good. But this is the real problem right here. Look at this. The British with a sizable force on the very back line. I wouldn't even bother shooting from this distance. I would just get straight into the fight. Is that a cannonball? Where's that cannonball? It looked like that cannonball is like someone was trying to shoot me from the battlefield. But here we go. We're finally starting the Holy Roman Empire to break here a little bit. They're having to concede a lot of ground. And that's fine. If you're the Holy Roman Empire or the British on this side, you want to try to delay the French as long as possible, because your teammates are pushing. They are pushing, and you're making great progress. So yeah, just keep falling back, reorganize, slow down, and let this rear attack unravel. Now we do have Denmark going for a cav charge, but this is through an orchard or some sort of small little tree forest. I don't know. These are some tiny trees. But they are going in for a slow motion charge, which honestly, guys, is not going to end well for Denmark. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Now the French are going in for a charge. Look at this. Oh, we got the old guard. The old guard. My goodness. Wow. The French doing what they can. We have the British sending in the Light Dragoons, the Scarlet Lancers, trying to break the old guard, which the old guard, they like to fight. Their morale stays, it's going down now. Oh, they just broke the British there, the infantry, but they break to the cav. I thought there was going to be a chance for this old guard to win that fight against this cav, but unfortunately, it just does not happen. And now, yeah, look at Denmark. Denmark has to, he now has rear duty. He now has rear duty. He has to watch the rear, but these troops are already losing morale. Imagine being one of these Danish soldiers. You've already fought for so long against the Holy Roman Empire, and you couldn't break them, even with two other French armies aiding you, and now you have to pull from the front and defend the rear against a much larger force. Your morale would be like this too. It would not feel good. It would not be good, and Denmark has a big task ahead of them. They must hurry. But at the same time, let's not pretend that this is anyone's battle. It's not. It has not been decided. France and Denmark, they're struggling on this side, but they are doing very well on this front. Now, they could have been doing a little bit better if they were just a little bit more aggressive. I think they could have been in this, like, they should have been at this spot like 5-10 minutes ago. But here they are. They're putting up some good pressure. We got the French going in for a charge. The French going in for a charge. And I think the French, they realize how desperate of a situation this is. They're going in for a brutal cav charge. And honestly, it's good to see the French cav. It's been a while since we saw any kind of cav presence from the French forces. And now they're going to go down the line. Look at this. This is a classic strat in NTW3. This is the sweeping cav charge. It is extremely effective. They just wiped out 3 units of infantry that lack the ability to form square, and now the infantry is going to charge in second, kind of clean up what the cav could not clean up, and they're going to put pressure on the infantry. Come on, fire away. Do not let them set up and fire before you. Here we go. The French are posted up. I mean, come on. Okay, go. There you go. There you go. And those shots do hurt the morale of the British, who just experienced a near death from the cav. And I wouldn't be surprised if this cav charges in again. He's going to let them rest. See, cav is very tricky in this game. You got to make sure you can't just run around all day long. You got to have moments of rest, and I like what he's doing with this cav. He went in, he went out, he broke 3 units, and he accelerated the speed in which he's going to win this battle. Look what he's doing with this general. Look at this. He's got him protected. That's how much the British cav has been dominant in this battle. That's how much they control. Think of this, if this was like a modern warfare, like this cav is like air superiority. Oh my goodness, a massive break from the French forces. And just like I said, air superiority, the cav moving in and crushing the infantry. And now the French are in a desperate attempt to recover any forces they can. The French now going in for a cav charge themselves. They're going to give them a taste of their own medicine. Let's see. Yes, they're going to get these lights here. That's not exactly game-changing, but it's a small victory that the French definitely need. Oh, man, this is going to be nuts, guys. This is going to be absolutely nuts. The French, oh, this is, what a fight. Just an absolute bloodbath of a battle. Fantastic maneuvers. Fantastic flanking. This is good. This is good stuff. So the French are now advancing upon, really this is the final stand of the Holy Roman Empire. I mean, they could always fall back more, but this is going to come down to the wire, guys. France is definitely in a tough position, though. They're now having to set up a defensive line as well. You can see they're setting it up right here because we have advancing British. Let's not forget the British still have is this 2 units? 2 units of cav here. Very healthy. They're tired. They're very tired, and this one's tired. They might want to rest them a little bit. So I don't think we're going to see any cav action here soon. We do have a random French unit that just got divided. They might be able to do some damage to that cav if they can set up quickly, but this unit looks pretty exhausted, tired, and they probably broke and returned. So who knows what they're going to be able to do with this unit. Come on, can they get a shot? This might be actually fairly big if they can pull off a shot here, but this hill is going to get in the way. They don't really do anything there. The cav is able to scoot away from that. And now the French, oh, the French are going in with another charge. This cav unit has been vital for the French forces. Now, he's got to be careful with this cav unit. He needs to keep it alive because he needs to keep doing this. He needs to keep charging and retreating, charging and retreating. This is huge. This might be it. I think he's going all in. I think he's going all in to defeat the Holy Roman Empire, and that's exactly what's happening. This is a huge win for the French forces. A huge win for them. They got to be careful. I hope he needs to fall back the cav. No, they broke. Okay, they broke, but they should return. He should have retreated them sooner. I hate to see this unit break. Now they're running into friendly gunfire through the chaos of this battle. But hopefully this cav does return. And essentially at this point, the Holy Roman Empire is defeated. And this is going to come down to Prussia and the British. And yeah, it's definitely looking like... at a quick glance, it's tough to tell because of all these trees and the British being in the trees. It's tough to tell who's actually gonna have who has the superior infantry in terms of numbers and strength or whatever. But it does appear that the French look like they're going to outnumber the British. Now, one thing that the British have over the French is a cav presence. They have 2 units of cav. They are tired, but they're in pretty decent shape, and they have 2 units. Now the French down to 1 unit that is currently breaking, but again, they should stop here soon. Hopefully, for the sake of the French, I'm sure they're praying that these guys stop breaking and recover. See, this is why he should have fell. Like, as soon as he started breaking multiple units of the Holy Roman Empire, he should have just stopped. Like, stop. Get out of there. Get your cav out of there before they break. But that's okay. They should return. But if I'm the British, he's currently chasing down infantry. You know, good for him. But, like, I might want to send my cav over to pursue that French cav and make sure they don't return. Because if France has 0 cav, it's going to be a much easier task ahead of them. But this is kind of it right here. This is a bit of a last stand of Prussia and the British as the French are just storming down this hill like an avalanche. Gonna go ahead and just bring some close gunfire. Oh yeah, look at this. And the Prussians are stepping back, and oh no, we've got our first fallen general. I think, was it, let's see, where is he? Where is he exactly? I think it was a British general, if I'm not mistaken, or Portuguese or whatever. But yeah, gotta be careful, France. Don't want to get too wild. Don't want to get too wild. Oh yeah, they are storming down this hill, and they want to secure this victory. And I think what they want to do is try to destroy most of this infantry before this British cav gets activated. You know, because the cav is nothing without some sort of infantry support. And here we go. We got nice lines of French opening fire on the British lines. This has been such a great battle. So back and forth. You know, teeter-totter type battle. A seesaw of a battle. There we go. Nice job here from the French. And with the French pushing through this forest, they kind of take away the advantage. Oh, nice little charge. Bayonet charge. Get in there, French. But yeah, they take away the advantage of the trees, which, you know, the trees can kind of give you some covering fire. But this looks like it's going to be the end of the British. Now, the British have artillery over here. So that can still be a problem. We got to try to close in and take that out. And let's not forget the British have their cav behind enemy lines. This cav unit looks like they're done. If they're not, if they haven't returned yet, I think they're done, which is unfortunate. And here we go, cav charge going in. I think they're gonna go for the artillery or this infantry. I would rather go for the artillery. Boom. Yes, nice little cav charge. Infantry trying to escape there, it appears, but they don't break them. Instead, I think they just noticed the artillery or the general. They're gonna go for the general. Oh, this is a long shot Hail Mary of a strat here. Oh, what are you doing? Get your general out of there. What are you doing? Oh, and they break the general in a matter of seconds. And now we have another drastic, desperate cav charge from the British, and it is paying off as they are pursuing multiple units of infantry. Unfortunately, this unit breaks as they just charge into the French infantry. Over here, they're still fighting the French infantry, but yeah. Oh, there you have it, guys. There you have it. Is this him? Is this the general? It might be. He is down. He is dead. And I think are the French generalists? I think that might be the case, but even with those bold, heroic cav charges, it's not enough. I don't think it's enough to defeat the French. It's all going to come down to Prussia, who is actively falling back. So we're going to fast forward this a little bit. And
our men are running.
Yeah, I think this is done. I think the French are going to be able to come out here on top. The Prussians are kind of kiting the enemy a little bit, but they look like they're so depleted. And then we have a random French unit that I assume broke and returned, and now this is working out nicely. They're opening fire on the Prussian general, who the general is going to charge. I think he might actually break this unit. I don't know. It's going to be tough. But yeah, this is over. The artillery position has been overrun. The French have a large, relatively speaking, a very large force after everything they've been through. So while this is progressing, let's go over what went well here for France and how they were able to come out on top. So I am very impressed with the French attack over on this side against the British and the Holy Roman Empire. It started off very well, actually, and they broke a lot of troops early on, but the British and the Holy Roman Empire did rally quite a bit, and I felt like the French were really holding back a lot of infantry that they could have sent up to break the Holy Roman Empire a little bit sooner, but it's okay. It worked out nicely because eventually they got the Holy Roman Empire with a very strategic cav charge right here. It happened right here. It broke like 4 or 5 units of infantry. He did it multiple times, you know, charged in, charged out, charged in. It was a great play by the French, and because he had a lot of reserves that didn't see any action, they were able to stay fresh, stay hungry, and deal with the flanking British and Prussians. And here we go. Here's the last stand of the Prussians, essentially. Over here on this side, I think the Allies did a great job. The British and the Prussians did a fantastic job here. They absolutely manhandled the rear guard French force that was defending. To be fair, this French force was heavily outnumbered, but they didn't exactly play it well, and they just got wiped out. And because of that, Denmark had to maneuver a rear guard and just try to slow them down, and they did enough. They did enough to slow down that advance. And this French army taking on the Holy Roman Empire, there's 2 of them. They were able to take them out, regroup, and take care of the flanking British. So as this Prussian line makes their last stand, I will fast forward through it because I do want to look at the end results, and hopefully we can actually see the end results, because the last couple battles we have not been able to check them out. All right, no, unfortunately it's the same thing, but this was sent in by the Prussian player, so thank you so much for this battle replay. I highly respect anyone who sends in a replay of their defeat. I would say 95% of the time it is of victories. So please, guys, I'm always looking for more NTW battles. If you got some great ones, send them my way. At least we can see the kills of the Prussian forces. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the battle, and I will see you next time on the battlefield.